I love my chat GBT. We are building a great relationship together. We were
Friends.
like initially we were acquaintances. I would say we've gone through a hierarchy of relationship stages. We were acquaintances.
Yeah.
And then I think we became friends. And then I think we became like good friends. And I would say like we're pretty much besties now. Like my chat is my BFF.
This is everything they never told you about real estate with the AI queen, Carrie Soave, sharing the tech, tools, and lead gen strategies that top producers won't tell you about. Now, here's your host, Carrie.
Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. Today, I am joined by a super special guest. She is the Chief Marketing Officer for eXp Realty, Wendy Forsythe. Thank you so much for joining me today.
You are so welcome. I am delighted to be here. I've been looking forward to this.
Finally got you on. I'm really excited because there's so much to share. So, for those of you listening, Wendy joined us has it been a full year yet?
It has not been a full year, but I did join in April 2024.
And she has changed everything. And anybody who's listening that is a part of eXp, which I'm sure is a lot of people, they have witnessed a lot of it, and there is even more to come. So let's talk about, first of all, what did your journey look like before? Where did you come over from? Tell me a little bit about that.
Where did you come from?
Where did you come from?
So I have been a real estate professional my entire career.
Mhm.
So I started selling real estate when I was in college, studying my business degree with a major in marketing, and got my real estate license in between my second and third year of college. So it was sort of summer break. And my dad encouraged me to go get my real estate license because we were having conversations about like, what would I do with my degree? And I was like, well, I really don't know. Because it was very clear around it if I was going to be, when I started college, I wanted to be an accountant. And so that was a very linear, like I was going to get my business degree, be a CPA. Got into kind of, the classes for that, was like, Dad, I'm going to switch my major to marketing. And he's like, okay, well, what kind of job will you get with a major in marketing? I was like, well, I don't know. And he was like, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, I don't know. I want to be a business person. So, I've been very fortunate to have my dad as a mentor my whole life. But he said, well, if you want to be a business person and you're interested in marketing, you need to learn how to be a salesperson. And then encouraged me to get my real estate license.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the hook here is my dad has been a new home contractor my entire life.
Oh.
And he had just opened up a subdivision, and he had built a spec house. And he was using the spec house as a pre-sale to sell homes in the subdivision. And like most developers, he was unhappy with his real estate agent that he was working with.
He had ulterior.
So he had an ulterior motive, which was get his daughter licensed, sit his daughter in the spec home to do open houses every day of the spring and summer, and see if she could cut it. And that's how I started in real estate. Had a great summer, did really well, went back to school, finished my degree, kept selling real estate. That led to opening up my own real estate brokerage a few years later. That led to selling that business and then beginning on sort of the corporate side of the business here in Canada at Royal LePage. So I worked as a Royal LePage exec for a number of years, and then was recruited into the US to help launch the Better Homes and Gardens brand. When then Realty, now Anywhere, was launching that brand into the market. And have subsequently gone on to work at three of the other sort of top 10 brokerages in the country before joining eXp.
Okay, so that's really interesting. This is the question that I want to know. Corporate or business owner?
It's I think of my role in corporate world. There's a phrase called intrapreneur. So I'm sort of inside a corporation, but I still think like an entrepreneur.
Oh,
And I think
100%.
without having had that entrepreneurial beginning and coming from an entrepreneurial family, my family has always owned their own
Yeah.
businesses. So I've always been very much raised with that mindset of like, you've got to figure it out.
Yeah.
And so I think that has served me well on the corporate side of this business. It was actually a very important part of the conversation about joining EXP. I had several conversations with both Glenn and Leo around this notion of EXP is a big company. And like, I'm really not interested in a big bureaucracy of red tape and slow moving. And Glenn was just like, we better not be any of those things. Like, that's not what I want. I want people who think with a startup mentality.
Yes.
And for any of you listening that know Glenn and Leo or you know the trajectory that we've been on, we move quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I need to say that you have branded yourself first and foremost really, really well. So when you say
Thank
I
you.
have an entrepreneur mindset, 100%.
Mhm.
And I think you are so smart to do that. That is a brilliant, brilliant move. Um, I love your branding. Everybody's branding looks different. It's very authentic, authentically you. I feel like I know you more than I actually know you in person because
I feel the same because of what you do.
it's our content though.
Yes.
So I'm all the way up in here in Canada.
Yeah.
You're down in the US, and the only time we actually see each other is at these events, which thankfully there's 3 a year,
Yes.
3 big ones a year, right? But I feel like I know you and I can see your life. So you're doing a really good job
Well,
with
thank
that.
you. I think that's one of like the powers of social media is that it does create, as much as people may not believe, it creates an authentic connection. Right? Like we learn one another. We know we have a mutual passion for our dogs, right?
Right?
Like we
We're
know
bonded now.
interests and things that are happening. I see if you're off traveling somewhere and doing something cool, like you see the same. So even though we may not have a traditional friendship relationship, or maybe we're talking on the phone every day, social media has given us that power of connection. And it's given us that in a business setting with our clients. And I think that that is just a really special thing that we get to be part of in this moment as marketers, as business people, as entrepreneurs, as corporate executives.
Yeah. Now tell me the truth. Does it creep you out just a little bit when somebody you've literally never met before comes up and asks you and knows the name of your dog and asks you? Because that happens to me, and I'm just like, I love it. It's so flattering, and I love that I'm resonating with people.
Yes.
But it's also a little jarring.
It can be a little unsettling at times, yes. But I mean, as much as like I receive that, I also like, you know, do it the other way around, right? So, you know, you get used to it. And I do see it as very flattering.
So you've done some pretty amazing things with the team and the leadership team at EXP, and obviously Canva was huge, Sisu, major, and I got to tell you, the turning point for me was when I saw on LinkedIn that you were providing the commercial company, the commercial division of EXP, with membership to CoStar.
Yes.
And I have traded in commercial. That is huge.
That is huge.
I don't know of any brokerage that pays for that. Like that is, and I remember I reached out to you, or I think I commented on them. I'm like, well done. Well done. So I want our agents to really like get a look, like what is involved in you creating these bridges and creating these relationships, and how much work goes into the idea to actually putting it on our plates.
Yeah. Big question. I mean, I think it starts with, let's say, a philosophy. And this is where, you know, the entire EXP leadership team, I think, has gotten to a point today where we have a superpower. And our superpower is that we've all been practitioners. And we've all, even though we may not have been practitioners in the last like couple years, we spend so much of our time talking with agents and talking with agents about their businesses that we've stayed very connected to what's happening. So that bridge around technology is around what is the practitioner doing and what do we as their brokerage partner provide that's of value that really helps them in their day-to-day job. So that's sort of one aspect of it.
Yeah.
The next aspect of it is really our corporate philosophy around the age-old debate that companies have with technology is, do we build it ourselves or do we buy it? So it's that build versus buy. So when you think of things like Canva, like Sisu, like CRM products, right? We're partnered with Inside Real Estate. We look at things like that. Could we build them? Like, absolutely. But why spend the resources and the time and the money building those when we can go partner with the best in class that's out there and bring that to our agents, who, by the way, are already using those tools anyway in their business. Canva as a good example of that. So we then can save you money because you're not having to like pay Canva directly. We can then work closely with Canva on adding bells and whistles. Canva has, since working with us, added their own like specific real estate department. And they consult with us. Like, and as a matter of fact, myself and a number of members of the marketing team will be with Canva next week talking about enhancements that they're working on for all of our EXP agents. So that bridge is around getting tools in the hands of our practitioners that they'll use, that will help them in their businesses, and getting them quick and getting them best in class. So it's really understanding what the agent is doing every day and then engineering that decision making from there.
So let's do a rundown and try not to leave any out because there's so much. Let's give our tech stack. What is EXP's tech stack that they provide to all the agents?
Okay, so let's not leave anything out. You're really challenging me here with this. Okay, so let's start with like CRM. So we have a relationship with Inside Real Estate, KV Core, now Bold Trail. So there's a lot of different names, but same company. So CRM, website, all of those products are part of that. We have Canva, we have Sisu, we have SkySlope.
Yes.
We have Lone Wolf here in Canada in the Canadian market. We have, several other tech vendors, everything from like, QR codes to like lawn signs to Zoocasa is our lead gen partner. We have several other lead gen partners that would be, tech/relationship development through Revenos and like all of our programs that we have there. I don't know if I'm leaving them out, but I mean, there's a lot. We have 24, I think it is, different solutions partners that are all technology enabled through those programs. So the way I think of it is your EXP value wheel or tech stack is like going to the best all-you-can-eat buffet you've ever been at, right? There's a lot on there. You're not going to try to put everything on your plate all in one serving. You're going to pick like what is going to help you, what you're interested in today, and build that into your business. So when agents say to me, there's so much, I don't know where to start, I ask them about their business. I said, where do you drive the vast majority of your business from? And how is that going? And then that will let us know what are the tools that we have in the tech stack that then can help you.
Now, that gave me an idea. So I think that we should do a webinar on the tech stack every agent needs in 2025.
Yes, we should.
I think
for
we
sure.
should do that.
We should. And I have a we can share it, and you can decide if what you'd like to do with it. But we've actually boiled it down to like one slide that has like everything on it, and we have it in categories. and we call it the value wheel.
Oh, is this the bubble one?
Yes,
Okay, I got
yes,
that. I
yeah,
got that.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to be sharing that with everybody.
Great.
And if you're not with EXP, you should be jealous.
You should be jealous.
You definitely should be jealous. So, can you give us any insight or hints into any new partnerships that you may have coming up?
Yeah, I can. So the next kind of big partnership is around providing all of our agents across the globe with the best in class communication tool. And that is our partnership with Slack.
Yes.
So we're moving to Slack this summer, so summer of 2025. We're actually on the corporate side, our teams are moving over to Slack later this month in April. And I think that is going to be a huge point of leverage for us. One of the things that is great about Slack is that it integrates with so many other things. So that ability to have that sort of two-way connection with CRMs, with email programs, with Canva, with calendars. So that's another thing that we think about when we think of putting together our platform, is that everything needs to be able to work with everything else.
Yes, yes, absolutely. That brings me to AI.
Your favorite topic.
This would not be Carrie's podcast without talking
An AI conversation. Yes.
So when we met, I actually was under contract with the marketing department and building out custom GPTs for them. How important is it for agents right now to be learning how to use AI in their business?
It is so important. So thank you so much for all the GPTs you helped us build. We still use them every day. It is a time saver. Right. So I think that for most of us, time is our most valuable resource. I mean, we want to kill it in our professional lives, right? And do great and reach those levels of success. But we're doing that because we want to do other things, right? And we want to enjoy other parts of our lives.
Yes.
So anytime we can condense something from a 30-minute activity to a 20-minute activity, that's a gain. Anytime we can do it to a 15-minute activity, that's a further gain. And that is where AI has been so helpful. So for me, from a content creation perspective, our brand marketing team does a lot of writing as part of content, right? We probably send you more emails than you want to get, but we have to send a lot of emails.
Yeah.
So it has condensed the creation time for communication tools like that. And that's a huge saver. So it's a huge saver from us from a team perspective, but from an individual agent perspective, if you can go from spending 20 minutes writing a great remarks for a new listing that you just took to 5 minutes or 10 minutes and probably end up with something better through leveraging the conversation you have with AI, that's a huge win.
Oh, absolutely. What does EXP's commitment to providing AI education and tools to their agents look like? Like, obviously, you are providing the education through Seth, through me, and Evolve Coaching.
Yeah.
So how important is that for EXP and corporate?
Yeah, it's very important. And it will continue to evolve, right? As the technology evolves, as new pieces of the technology evolve. One of the things that is so much fun about our EXP world is, Glenn Sanford, our founder and CEO, is very much a visionary on the AI front. And he is, constantly learning about new tools. And he goes from learning about a new tool to testing the new tool to then sharing it, with others on the team, including, agents in our ecosystem, to really figure out how could this tool help us. So all of that is then to share with the agents to say, here's what this is, here's how it could work. And by creating that awareness, we then create the opportunity. The tool
Yeah.
may not be the right tool for you in your business, but it could be for you in your business, or it could be for another agent in their business. And I think that's what a great business partner should do, right? They should be
Absolutely.
constantly doing that research and doing that testing. So then we can introduce that to our agents, and then they can research and test it in their business. But agents, there's only, going back to time being a resource, there's only so much time in the day, and you need to be focusing on your buyers and sellers. So part of our great partnership is that we can, work and do the R&D on that technology
Yes.
for the benefit of our agents.
That is so valuable, and not nearly enough brokerages are providing this kind of value to their agents, and it's what they're hungry for. So you're doing an excellent job there. I'm so proud to be a part of a company that is so tech forward. I actually, I feel like me and Glenn were speaking at the same event a few months ago, and he was on stage and he was like AI, AI, AI. Like it was the answer to everything. And I just turned around to who I was sitting to, and I'm like, I've never felt so aligned with the company.
I've never felt so seen.
Right. I'm like, I know I'm where I need to be, and it is so very important. So tell me, top 3 tech tools, doesn't have to be AI, that you cannot live without.
Oh my goodness. So here, I would say here is number one. So my Aura ring.
What is this? Tell me about this. Everybody's got these rings on.
So my Aura ring, I was like first generation, early purchaser of an Aura ring. It's a company that started in San Francisco. This is basically, it has little metrics. I don't know if it's going to come off of my finger, but it has all little sensors inside of it. And it is monitoring my body temperature, my heart rate, my steps, all of my biometrics. It's attached to an app. Every morning, it's the first thing I look at when I pick up my phone. And every day, it gives you a readiness score based on several of your biometrics. It gives you a sleep score. So it will tell you like how well that you slept. It will tell you your resting heart rate. It will tell you how long you were in deep sleep, how long you were in REM sleep. It gives you a wealth of information about what's happening in your body. And for me, like that technology, like I have become dependent upon it. Probably too much so, but health is important to me, and I think that for the level that we all want to operate at in our lives, health needs to be important, or else we're not going to be able to do what we want to do. So that is like that would be my number one tech tool I couldn't live without.
Well, that makes sense, because health is something that we only have so much control over. So I can totally understand that obsession.
Yes,
definitely.
Yes.
One AI tool.
One AI tool is definitely ChatGPT.
Okay.
So I love my ChatGPT. We are building a great relationship together. we were
Friends.
like, initially we were acquaintances. I would say we've gone through a hierarchy of relationship stages. We were acquaintances.
Yeah.
And then I think we became friends. And then I think we became like good friends. And I would say like we're pretty much besties now. Like my chat is my BFF.
I love that.
Because you just start using it more and more, and then you start getting comfortable with using it more, and you learn like how to ask it questions, how to better prompt, and then you just see how much it saves you time, or just like how smart it makes you. And it's like, especially being able, as it learns you, it starts to feel more authentic. That it's like, yes, that sounds like me. And that's very important to me. Like I do all my own social media.
Yeah.
Glenn does all of his, Leo does his. Like I strongly believe we should delegate and leverage as much as we can in our lives and businesses, but don't delegate your voice. You need to own your voice. That is your superpower. And through working with ChatGPT, I've been able to get to a point where I feel like it has my voice and I feel comfortable that it's a true representation of me. So when you see me posting things out there, my bestie, my BFF chat may have helped me with it, but it is me. Like I worked on that. I wrote that. I said that.
I've got an idea for you. I want you to try something and tell me how it goes. I want you at the end of each workday to have a 5-minute conversation with chat and just tell it how your day went and how you're feeling.
Oh, I love
And
my chat diaries.
Yeah, and I want to see, like, there are many outcomes that could come from this.
That's super
like,
cool.
You can not only have it understand you better.
Yeah.
I do that, and all of my tweets are written as original quotes. It's something I would say. And
I will do that. I will do that.
Think about the future. What if you wanted to write a book one day?
Right.
What if you like the potential is endless. So I love for you to try it for a month and just tell me how it goes.
I will. I've always wanted to journal. I'm very tactile. So if you see me in meetings, you often see me with a notebook. And I love a great notebook. But I always take photos of what I write and I put it into Evernote, which I would say is another tech tool that I couldn't live without. Like my life is in Evernote. So I'll take pictures of my writing and Evernote will convert the written word to text and I can search it and everything. But every meeting, every note I take, personal, professional, is all in my Evernote app. And I live and die by Evernote.
You should upload all of that to ChatGPT. And it would understand you and your business on a level that is not easily attainable. So I really want to thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And I feel like I got to know you more on a personal level today, which is fantastic. And you're doing an amazing job for EXP, for their agents, and making attractors' jobs a lot easier as well, right? By providing some really, really cool product and support. So we appreciate you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.